So call it what you like, call it OCD, call it just me being perfectionist, but the thing that's been irritating me lately is this steering wheel. Uh, it really annoys me that when I drive it's not straight. And I see a lot of videos of people driving Varios and you think steering wheel's not straight. It's just one of those little things that irritates me. So what I'm going to do, a very quick short video on actually how to change the steering wheel. There's nothing at all on the internet or on Google or anywhere at all about Mercedes Vario steering wheels. This is an earlier one. So it's a 1999 model. The later ones have got a slightly different steering wheel. But I'm just going to leave this on YouTube, leave it on the internet for the world to see, in case, like me, you start searching for how to get these things changed. Well, not to get them changed, it's the size of the nut that was the biggest problem, and just how to do it properly. So a quick 5-minute video to show you how it's done. First things first then, this is a quite straightforward steering wheel. There's no airbag in it, there's no horn on it or any other electrical bit. So first thing we need to do is get this little badge out in the middle there. If you go to the bottom of the V there, you'll find it's a simple little prize out job. I'll do this with one hand. So just pop out the little cap in the middle of that, like that. And my biggest issue, excuse me while I put that down, was that nut there is buried deeply inside here. And so what size is it? What size is it? Try and Google steering wheel nut size and you'll never find it. You won't find it. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here it is for the first time ever on the internet. 34 millimeters. Took me so long to figure that one out. I had to get a special pair of calipers that would fit down the hole so I could measure it. But yeah, 34 mil, that's the size. Round of applause if you please. So next job then is to undo it. Don't use the steering lock, you know, as a this one's not locked, but don't use the steering lock as your stop here. You need to do it by hand. I try to avoid any kind of force against steering columns because you don't know what's inside them. You don't know if they've got plastic inserts, or if you try and use it against the steering lock, you might bend it and then just, you know, make it even worse for yourself. So do it by hand. Nice big lever on it, as I've got here. You know, I've got quite a long lever on there. I'm going to put the phone down because I can't do it with one hand to crack that nut under. There you go, 2 seconds later. It wasn't too tight, you know, it's just I'm actually going to tell you what the torque setting is in this as well, because that was a mare to find. Let me just pop that nut off of there. Off we go, and then we go on to the next stage. Yeah, gotcha. Next week then, you want to get the steering wheel off. It's not obviously not going to come off because you pull on it. You're going to need to use a puller. Now most people are tempted to use a house brick or use something like a shoe or whatever. You're not going to get it off like that. And again, if you start whacking it with hammers, you're going to damage the column, or you might damage the column. Disagree if you will. I'm going to use a puller. So oh, you haven't got a puller. I got this lovely little cheap set off of eBay or Amazon or somewhere. You know, it's Chinese. It's 15 quid. It wasn't a lot. 15 other currencies. You know, it's a cheap, simple little puller. I wasn't going to make one, but you know, let's just buy the right thing. I might use it again one day. I've got lots of tools like this in my toolbox. So let me set all this up and we'll go from there. So there we go, pullers on there now. I've got it in nice and straight. A couple of M8 bolts got in there. It's a bit odd really. I'm not sure that is actually an M8 thread. It's certainly not an Imperial thread. It just feels a bit odd going in there. So anyway, we've got the puller on there. We're going to ratchet and gradually pull it off so that it can hold the steering wheel straight up. But just use my knees actually, just tighten it up and it'll pop that steering wheel nicely off for me. I'm also going to put a nice lever. What's that tight thing? There you go, it's just gone. So I'm also going to put a nice this is a bit ratty. What happened there then, my camera ran out of memory and stopped recording. I was about to point out to you that I'm going to put a nice leather cover on my steering wheel. It's just it looks a bit ratty, so I thought I'll put a nice sewn on leather cover. I'll show that in a second. One thing I would put my hands up. I made a mistake when you saw the steering wheel popping off of the column there. It was in fact the threads ripping out of the steering wheel itself. I didn't screw the bolts in tight enough or long enough. It's a funny old thread that. It's an odd looking thread. I reached down. It wasn't extremely damaged. I just didn't screw it in far enough. But the threads that are in there. Excuse my bad finger work. Where are you? There. In there. It's a funny old thread. I thought it'd be an M8. It looks like an M8, but it's not quite. They're very, very tight in there. Anyway, so moral of the story: screw your bolts in tight. These are in. They're on quite hard actually. Come off. It's a lot more difficult to get off than I thought it was going to be. Also, be careful with the tab on this indicator canceller there, because you can easily snap that off. That unscrews. So, as you can see, I put a nice leather cover on here. Something from eBay. It just makes it look nice and neat. It's sewn on. It's easy to do. I won't show you how to do it because plenty of things on eBay show you how to do that. And then, like I say, just plonk the thing back on again. Just gonna put the camera down a sec while I do this. There you go then, don't force it on there, make sure it engages nicely, you know, no need to force anything on here. I did notice there was a bit of Loctite on the thread as I took it off there. There's a little bit of Loctite on the top there, so I think when I do put this back on, I'm going to add a little bit of, I don't know, some sort of Loctite to it, just to make sure it's okay. It took me a while to find the torque for this steering wheel nut. I've got a Russian manual which I actually literally use Google Translate to translate almost every page to it look like something, all the torque settings, until I could see the one I wanted. I'm not going to make claim to this, but it looks like it's 100 Newton meters, which sounds about right. 100 Nm seems to be okay. It sort of said steering shaft nut, you know, and I think, well, it's not the big nut on the other end, that's enormous. So I'll do this up at 100 Newton meters, but don't take my word for it. I think that's what it is. Generally with steering wheels, you do them up tight enough. You know, if you do them tight enough, then it's good enough. You're going to know if it's going to work loose, because your steering will feel a bit funny and you'll find yourself driving with a steering wheel in your hands. Hopefully not. So yeah, that's about it for now. I'm not going to bolt this one down right now, because I just want to wheel it up and down the road. It's in pieces, as you can see at the moment. It's on axle stands, to be honest with you. And when I get a chance, I'll drive it down and make sure it's nice and straight, and then I will be happy again. So anyway, thanks very much. Have a good day.